in school, everybody knows you can cheat, right? And if you don't get caught, it's okay. Only if you get caught, you're in trouble. So what do we teach generation after generation? Welcome to the Night Ignition podcast number 39, topic rules. Who is with me tonight is Mrs. Ula, the amazing nutritionist, coach, physiotherapist, masseuse, anything related to human body except operating on it, she knows it.
Yeah, and some other stuff too, but I can
even sex toys. We discovered that last time. If you didn't watch it, go watch it. And then we have another amazing human being with us, which is my brother, Jamie, the little JP.
Little JP, small JP. I mean, actually, it's bigger, but
taller,
younger.
Not bigger. Younger JP. Yeah. Who is we could say entrepreneur who loves to work with people in restaurants and bars and hotels.
If Ula knows how to treat people's bodies, I know how to pour drinks into them.
There you go. I'm not going to say anything more. That'll be weird, but it is what it is. That's how we are here. Not just drinks, right? Food as well.
No.
Anything you guys want to consume in restaurants or bars, he knows how to deliver that, so you will do that with a lot of joy. Okay, we have rules for us tonight. And what is a rule, right? What does the dictionary says? It says it's one of a set of explicit or understood regulations or principles governing conduct or procedure within a particular area of activity. So, I have no idea what I just read, to be honest. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's I thought it would be says like, "Hey, Mr. JP." I thought it says like it was an agreement that is then a rule, or it says nice regulations or principles. Yeah, I don't know. She knows. Mr. JP knows. She's a lawyer. What I just read. But anyway, right? What do you guys think of when you hear when somebody says that's a rule? What goes through your mind? Like what is rule for your definition, and then what goes through your mind when somebody says, "But that's a rule. You should obey it." All right, that was vivid, but for everybody who will listen to it,
yeah, for me it's just like my rebelde comes out and it says fuck the rules. Because it's like, for me, when somebody says this is the rule, I'm like, yeah, but why?
All right.
Does it make any sense?
Okay.
I mean, I'm gonna say like this. For me, when I hear rule, the first thing that pops into my mind is like, it's just some kind of playbook that is there, so we are kind of playing by it, so we know what we can do, what we cannot do, like in a perfect world. But perfect world doesn't exist, so basically rules are meant to be broken in some way. Some are kind of gray area, are there just so we know what is kind of expected of us. But it's not like rules set in stone, like you have to do this, and if you don't do it, you break it, and there are consequences. And that's how I would say, like, for me.
All right, yeah. What goes through my mind is like the saying of Arnold Schwarzenegger, who said, "Don't break the laws, break the rules." Like, obey the laws but break the rules. Mr. JP said, "For me, if it's a rule, I have to obey it. I just feel so bad if I violate it, but this does not mean that I agree with this rule." Yeah, right? It goes in different ways for different people. So I would say it depends how we were raised up, then how those rules, our experience by those rules, right? So if there is a rule, how did you experience it when it plays out for you? Like were you treated badly? or people were like cheering for you. Oh, you're a good boy now. Oh no, you're bad now. So I would say that. And for me, rule is like, all right, you should obey it, but it's an opportunity to not, and to be bad, to be to be on the other side, whatever that side is, but just to be the bad boy. Yeah, I would say that is for me. Since I was like in kindergarten, I think it was like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it was just like, all right. If it actually comes up with an experience, right? So there we were in a kindergarten, all playing out. I was in one group, and then there was another group of the same age kids. There were so many of us, they had to put us in two groups. So in that one group that I was in all the years in kindergarten, we were like, me and one other guy, Marco, we were like the bosses of that group. Everybody obeyed us, like we played it out. We had a lot of fun. Nobody was left. I don't know. It was just like a perfect little world for a little growing man who wants to, who anything is possible for him. So then just the last year before you go to school, they put me in the other group, right? We call it little school in Slovenia. Now that doesn't exist anymore, but that time, but it's still inside of kindergarten building. So they put me in the other group because they say if me and Marco are together, they cannot control us. We're too strong together, and the teachers are having hard time with us, which I don't know. And then when I got to know that was on the first day of little school, and my reaction was like, there is something wrong here. Why me? Why not him? Why did you pick me? So I kind of put on later on, I mean, in that moment, like the identity. What now when I think back and I see the whole situation, in that moment I decide, all right, being good doesn't do anything good. You will be punished anyway, so why not be a bad boy? So you can lie, you can steal, you can break the rules. Even if you obey them, you will not be cherished, or I don't know, you will not get good things. So you can, because that's all the things that I did from that moment on. I think I started lying. I started in a way manipulating, or how to say it, maybe not manipulating, but becoming a master of disguise. So there was a war between my former group and current group in in that little school. So my former group come in and they start throwing these big Lego, what is called cubes, at my current group, right? And I joined them. That was my team. I joined them. I beat the hell out of my current group, throwing those cubes like maniacs. I throw them the most of it, right? And then teacher came at one point, and I sat on the table in my current group's room. I sat on the table, little guy jumped on the table, the legs were like doing like this, and I was like, and then teacher said, all right, everybody who was throwing cubes, clean the room now. And I was just like sitting on the table, like I didn't do anything. And nobody said anything, like not my current group, not my former group. Everybody was that silent. Nobody said, oh, he was throwing that too. And that's how I get by it most of the time. And I went by it also in then in school and stuff like that happened. But what I came up later on is also that I got like, all right, if I have power, people will be afraid of me. So I didn't saw it as they didn't say anything out of respect for me, but that they didn't say anything out of fear of me. That's how my mind took the story into it. So yeah, me and rules are like that. All right, I can break it. I can always disguise it, being master of it. So I will break them, but I will make it somehow that it doesn't look so bad, or it doesn't look that I was there anyway. So yeah, and bunch of stories like that I can share later on. But that was the earliest one when, you know, I was playing by the rules in a way, but then I was expelled, and the other guys, I mean, expelled. In my world, everything was like destroyed in that moment. I went to the other group because they said so, you know, just like being in the age of tyranny in the Middle Age. Because the king said so, you lose your head. That doesn't need the reason. They just said so. So yeah.
Yeah, that is how I saw school system, the same. And it was all about the rules, and for me they were stupid. And at that time, when I was like probably 10, the game began, and I think I still play it. It's how I can avoid those rules and not getting punished, right? So being an outsider, kind of. So everybody are following the rules, and they pass the, I don't know, the exam, the year, the class, whatever. And I'm not following the rules, but I'm still passing it. So that was like the game for me. And one of those games, when I was in, I think, 4th grade of high school, so the last one, they put the rule you have to be present 80% in school, no matter if you're sick, if you're whatever. If you're not present 80%, then you cannot pass the not the class, but the, let's say, I don't know, English language or whatever. And I really hated school, and I didn't want to be there. And then I figured out that if I train more, I'll be in the national team. And if I'm in the national team, then I can just say I have trainings and everything, and I don't need to be at school. So that was what I did. I actually didn't have that much training, but I just said, yeah, training in the morning, 3 hours. To be honest, I was sleeping many times. I didn't have training, but nobody asked because I was really good that time at kickboxing, and nobody cared. And I was good at school. I had good grades. So yeah, that was the way for me to avoid the rules, but still, you know, passing the test or whatever. So that's how I see rules.
Yeah, for me it's basically the same. I think we all have like, you meet the rules like in kindergarten. You know, they set up some rules. I will never forget the story. Because I'm 2 years younger, I went to the same kindergarten as JP, and I remember we always had, I think it was after lunch, so it was around noon or 1 o'clock. Yeah, 1 o'clock. It was 1 o'clock because the guys who were going home, that the parents finished early, they didn't have to go to sleep. Everybody else had to go to sleep for like 1 hour between 1 and 2, and then you have like another hour, you know, to play, and then everybody gets picked up and they go home, unless if the parents are working until 4 or 5. And I remember exactly because our classroom was all the way at the end. We had a window, big windows, straight to the backyard where all the playground was. And I will know that I was always the first one who was opening the door, like falling asleep. And then I was the first one to always check, where is the teacher? I checked the doors, I went out, the teacher was nowhere to be seen. I just woke up the entire group, opened the window, and we jumped out. Yeah, I mean, there were some people, you know, who really fall asleep and you could not do anything about it. But most of the group, we always break those rules about sleep, because it was, as a 5-year-old or 6-year-old, even in middle school, you don't see a point of going to sleep when you're with a bunch of friends. Why would I sleep for 1 hour right there? You know, it's waste of time. Let's play together. I mean, especially because we were living on the other side of the city compared to where our kindergarten was. You are not going to meet with them in the afternoon to go play with them. So we just spend as much time. Sometimes, yeah, you know, you get in trouble because the teacher come back too soon and she found us outside, and then you hear from them. But I must say that those times, you know, But you start with those little things, like small things, and then you just build on that, breaking the school system the way that you see possible to survive in. From there it goes on, like in elementary school, goes to cheating at exams. It's also kind of breaking the rules, but you don't want to study, you don't want to go through all that process. And what you do, you just make some cheat sheets, you put them somewhere, you hide them, or you just copy paste from your neighbor and you get by. And as long as you are not caught by the teacher, everything is fine. And and that's how basically I survived, even in college.
Yeah, right.
So,
but you sharing that, the funny thing goes through my mind. So what are they teaching the society, right? In school, everybody knows you can cheat, right? And if you don't get caught, it's okay. Only if you get caught, you're in trouble. So what do we teach generation after generation after generation? You can break the rules as long as you don't get caught.
Yeah.
So basically, we can say in our environment, right? We cannot say for the whole world. But in our environment is like, you can break the rules as long as you don't get caught. So what do? We test it all the time, right? We all know, like the simple thing, right? Highway rule is, or the law is, even the law is, right? 130 kilometers per hour is top speed allowed in Slovenia. Everybody knows that. How many of drivers never pass 130 kilometers per hour? Like, never go above it. Or even test the cars, right? Because you can drive a car that goes like 260 kilometers per hour and you can only go the halfway. That's like, you gotta punch it at some time, somewhere. Where you will do it, it's on the highway. And you know all the risks. If you cause the accident with more speed, it's like the consequences are gonna be more horrific. You cannot react so fast when the car is going faster and faster and faster, because it's like the physics, pure physics, right? But we still do it. We still do it. You're not like going there like, all right, I will drive 130 because if I go faster, I will be breaking the rule. I might get caught. I might get the speed ticket, which is like if we agree on it, right? Getting the speed ticket is not that severe punishment. All right, you will lose a couple of hundred of euros. You will lose some points, or you will get some points that you will be closer to losing the driver's license eventually, but it gets erased after 7 years, something like that. Doesn't matter, right? The matter is, what are they teaching us? That's it. They're teaching us to break the rules over and over until you get caught. And that is acceptable. It's like, that is the thing, right? So that is, I don't know, for me, one of the main things that we should look into as a society, right? What we can do about this. Because it will go on and on and on, and every generations after is going to push it further and further and further, which is now resulting out there. And it's happening, like wars, stealing, cheating, getting other people's data. It's nothing like that. If you steal somebody's phone, it's like, all right, I didn't take care of it, it's my fault. Like, all that kind of things are a result of, they teach us that you can cheat. And that is the rule as well, right? It's somehow an agreement. You can cheat as long as you don't get caught.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I just remembered that actually my mom, she said to me, because my dad was more hardcore on me than she was. And she said to me one day, I remember it like I was, 12 or something like that. And she said, with your dad, you just have to find how to go around, like something like that. So she basically said to me, just find a way to cheat, right? And yeah, it's so funny because that's exactly what I did, like for the next, I don't know, 10 years, till I realized that that's not how I want to live, because you're always hiding something. You're lying to the ones that you don't want to lie. It becomes kind of lifestyle, and you're just, that's how you are. It's like a robotic thing. You just do it. And when I was 22, in my family, something really bad happened because of lying, right? And breaking the rules and so on. And at that time, I just realized, oh my God, I don't want to be that person anymore. And it was hard. I had to like push myself or pull back, right? Every time that my automatic response would go, yeah, just say something that's not completely true, and it's gonna be fine because it's easier, right? And yeah, I think what you said is true. They actually said in school, yeah, you can cheat till I don't caught you. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
All right, and
Yeah,
everybody who is listening, sorry to interrupt. Everybody who's listening, just share your thoughts with us. What are you hearing, getting your experiences? We'll include that in. For everybody who don't know, we are putting all the podcasts on these audio podcast sites: Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Amazon Music, and Podbean. So they will be all uploaded until end of October with the current ones, and the old ones. We will call them somewhere there. Just so you know, every other day they come out. Say it.
yeah. I just wanted to add, like, if you go back to school system, I forgot who actually told me, but like at one point, when you make a cheat sheet for a test, right, you actually are learning because you don't have an A4 paper or the entire textbook to have it in front of you. You have to put only the necessary data on that small piece of paper that you're gonna hide somewhere, or multiple of them, and you actually learn. And in my opinion, if we allow that, like if you make your own cheat sheet, you're gonna actually learn, and you're actually not gonna need it in a test. But as long as it's prohibited and it's considered as cheating, of course, everybody's gonna push that boundary, that line, that gray line that exists, like invisible gray line that we all know that is there, and we are all the time on the edge, with one foot across, one foot in it. You're always there somewhere, and sometimes some people, of course, they deviate and they just go totally across it, and there is no point of return. But basically, we in everyday's life, we are all the time on that line. And that is all starting in the school system, because we are all started in school system breaking the rules, and then you just try to push it to where it's going to lead you, how far I can go. Like, I can spit all the time until I get caught, and so far I haven't got caught yet. No, I did once. I just remember not long ago I got caught once. Yeah, but you're still not going to drive like through a village of 5 houses. You're not going to slow down to like 50. You're still going to go 60, 70, because you're hoping maybe I'm not going to get caught, and you never know what's going to happen. And that, I think, is the biggest problem, that we are not thinking about consequences when you break certain rules. But certain rules, they're pointless, and we don't even realize they are rules anymore because they are just in everyday's life.
Yeah, but one thing that you said good is, like, we're all the time on the gray line, right? On this invisible gray line, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We're like cheating, but then pretending we are not, right? Like little lies, white lies, all good. Like, as long as nobody is hurt, as long as they don't know, it doesn't hurt. La 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 la, right? But then if you look like right, and one thing I want to mention, like let's avoid everybody is doing that, or all the people are doing that, right? Because I'm generalizing, and it's not gonna apply to everybody, because it didn't. There are some people that they don't cheat in school, so we cannot say all the people. Let's just avoid that in the future. But what I mean is, if you pull out and you look this gray line, that's how we live lives, right? We're 1 foot in, 1 foot out all the time. So we're sitting on the fence, our asses are hurting, and we are surviving life. Because we do not, because we're all the times in, out, yeah, I want to do it, no, I don't want to do it. Do I need to cheat? Can I cheat it? I cannot cheat it. Or I have to actually talk to the people. So in conversations, I cannot cheat, right? If you want to enroll somebody into your project, or get a new customer or anything, right? Anything you want to do relating to people, including people into like enrolling them, and then they pay out or become a customer or a partner or a friend, right? You cannot cheat in there, because if you cheat in there, and there are people who are trying to cheat, but they always land on the, on the sore ass, because they're all the time. Everybody who didn't do that, who are doing that, is on the fence, and it's like it's a life of pain, surviving. I don't know, that just popped through my mind. Just like, it's a funny thing how everything is connected. And then I look to, like, leaders who are always saying, don't sit on the fence, just jump or don't jump, but don't sit on the fence, you will get a sore ass. Don't hesitate, don't doubt, don't hesitate. It's like you won't get anything out of it sitting on the fence. You don't know what's on the other side. You know what's on one side, you don't know what's on the other side until you jump over. So sitting on the fence actually doesn't do any good. But breaking the rules is just like that, right? Because you drive 150 on the 130. So when you go on a highway 140, you're not driving with a peace of mind. There's no way you're driving with a peace of mind, because it's 130. You were taught that it's 130. You're on 140 now. It's okay until you get caught. But just like when I remember when I was cheating, I didn't have peace of mind writing that test down, because it's just like, I have to do it quick. I have to do it right. I didn't focus on the test only. I had to focus on other people in the room, on the professors moving up and down. Like when can I do it? Or I cannot do it now. He's behind my back. I don't know exactly where he is. Pretending you don't have peace of mind doing that. It's just like, it's impossible. And then you go around. I go around, and many people I know, they go around, and I know they're breaking rules, or they're up for white lies, and they just say, I want to have peace of mind. Well, not with the way you live. It's impossible to have peace of mind with the way, right? I didn't cheat in school. Oh, there you go. Mr. JP said, you see. So all the people are already do not count.
Majority.
Yeah, you cannot even say that. I know.
Yeah.
Oh, it just went out of my mind.
All good.
Now I lost it.
All right, cool. Happens. We're live. It's spontaneous. No script here. Yeah, but with rules, another thing is funny with rules is, it's like I just was thinking today, right? Every agreement, no, all the rules are agreements, but not all agreements are rules. Like, if you get it wrong, right?
Yeah.
But rules are there to kind of keep society in a flow, right? That we know, right? Like, that's okay, that's not okay. That's gonna, if you obey this rule, that's gonna work for you. If you don't obey this rule, that's not gonna work for you. But then when you're young, you're taught like it's okay to break the rule as long as you're not gonna get caught. But then it's not work for you, like we just discovered. You don't have at least peace of mind, if not anything else. Like, right, you need to lie all the time, you need to cover all the time, you need to pretend all the time, putting all those max songs like, hey, I'm good, come on, be friend with me, when in fact you're you just want to use people or whatever there is, right? Just like, it's funny thing, and but nobody really thinks like what it would be, how our lives would look like if we live by the rules, or we say it out loud like, look, this is not working, I have a counter offer, right? We don't get that option. I think that is one thing that is then, which is also kind of a rule. You don't get the option, right? In school, as kids, we don't get an option like, hey, teacher, I don't see this rule is working for us. Like half of the class is really unhappy, so I have a counter offer. What if, we could use a book during the test?
I
don't know.
actually did that.
Yeah.
I did that, and it didn't end well.
Exactly, right? Because
I was like, I'm sorry, but I really don't see the point of us learning the poem, right? Why don't we just, I don't know, read some interesting books and poems or whatever? And I was like, I'm not gonna learn it. And she's like, okay, then you're not gonna pass the class. I was like, like, what do you mean? But yeah, I got what I wanted to say. If I look on things from energy, also from that perspective, and when we cheat, we are actually cheating on ourselves first. Because we are the ones that are losing energy, right? So we are not doing it to another person, we are doing it firstly to ourselves. And till my 22, my life was a disaster. Like my relationships didn't work, my partnership didn't work, and I was always blaming other people. But then I realized it all starts with me, because I had some agreements with people and they didn't work for me. But because I had something from that agreement from the other side, I didn't say it doesn't work for me. I just didn't follow the agreement, but I expected from them to obey or to follow the agreement. And if we are not communicating like in transparent way, doing our 100% in the which kind of a relationship, then we are the ones that gonna get hurt at first. Like we are the first one that's gonna get like so yeah, that's why I stopped doing that.
Yeah, breaking the rules is it's a habit that we get, like we just discovered, right? We gotta learn, but in the end, if you really look into it, you put your thought into it, you see it doesn't work. And when you know it doesn't work, if we just look at our bodies, right? If you break the rules of how the body works, of the physiology of the body, right? What nutritions do you need? Just by that, right? The body works on nutritions. If you break those rules, you don't get the body that you want, or you don't have the body that you want, or you need to compromise in that way and say, no, it's okay, I actually like that being a little bit more fluffy. It's like, it's all funny, like, when in fact you're breaking the rules with your body. It doesn't work. And that is like the minimum thing, like how you can see as a society, as a humanity, it doesn't work if you don't go by certain rules, and that they were actually put in there so you would actually get the best out of life. Some of them weren't really thought about it well, like we find out the schools and probably some other areas. But if you go back on the roads, I mean, they were put much thought into it, how much to drive, and then it's just like pushing the boundaries. We always will be doing that, and I think great thing that little JP said was like, we don't think about the consequence. We're just like, it's okay if you don't get caught. And who will catch you when it comes to your body? Nobody, because we all wants to be nice to each other. You won't say, hey fatty, how you doing? Hey fatty. Nobody will say that. Or hey skinny, put some muscles on, eat more, train more. Or you, hey, be careful what you're eating. Your body is not reacting well to your lifestyle. Can you, we don't do that. We're like, nah, it's okay. He's just a little bit more strong, he's not fat. And that's like the worst thing that we are doing. Like just tolerating everything. Tolerating. When a kid lies to you, it's okay. When you cheat in school, it's okay. When you drive too fast, it's okay until you get caught. And then, like Ula said, it's easier to put the blame on the others when you get caught. Oh, it's the policeman's fault. He's the cunt here. Why is he here now when it's just my bad luck. I know, it's my life. I have a bad luck in life. It just, must be born on the most unfortunate day, hour, and time in history of human beings' life. We all know these excuses. Yeah.
It's a better one. This is genetics.
Yeah.
I can't do anything about it. Oh my God. This is like, I hear it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they say to me, yeah, but it's genetics. Like my family is a little bit chubby. And then I go, you know what? Genetic in your family? Your refrigerator. That's the only thing.
That's what I just wanted to say, right? It's the cake that you eat at 10 p.m.
Well, it's in the fridge.
Yeah, well, Like, who put it there? I don't know. Santa? But it's just, all right, we're making fun, right? But that's how a lot of us lived or is living our lives, and is bullshitting. We're bullshitting, like Kula said before, ourselves, right? And like I said before, like, rules are there to guide us in a way, and there are rules that needs to be rethought or rethink or put more thought into them, if they're actually working, or are they not working, not workable, not that they're working or not, but are they workable or not workable?
Yeah, I think certain rules were just written or made like in a different time that we're living right now, and we are like the society or the people who are actually making this decision what is a rule, so let's put it like this, they don't think of it that we have to change them, maybe because it suits them as well, or maybe because just nobody wants to think about changing certain rules that are kind of already embodied in all of us. Like, it's okay, it's a rule, it's there, it's nice if we obey it, but it's nothing wrong if we don't do it. And then also certain rules are like changing from country to country, which are also kind of, for some people, it's kind of strange to find out. Like just jaywalking, for example, in US or in England, the crosswalk is there because it has to be there. But as long as you are not endangering yourself, you can cross the road wherever you want. But in Slovenia, for example, if you don't cross the road on the crosswalk, you are breaking the rule.
No, the law.
The law, sorry. Yeah, it's the law. So does that make sense?
I mean, depends, right? If you get hit by a car, you will say it makes sense. Or if your kid gets hit by a car, you will say, oh, it would make sense if we would have that, right? I mean, it's always like that, right? It depends the situation you're in. It's like, all right, if it doesn't happen to you or anybody you know, then you're kind of okay by it, by breaking that rule or law. But when it happens to you or somebody close to you, you get insta hold on to it. Like you know, a lot of examples happening in the recent like year, two, or you know, people were like, "Oh, all against," or "It's a bad rule, bad something bad," until it happens to them, and then they change their mind, or somebody close to them, and then they change their mind. So, you know, is
Yeah,
it
but actually the cross no what's it called, the
jaywalking? Yeah.
Crosswalk.
crosswalk, yeah, crosswalk is actually there to make the situation easier, because if I go over the road on crosswalk and the car hit me, it's his fault, right? And if I go where there's no crosswalk, it's my fault. So it's making the situations and the consequences more clear, basically, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same when we were talking about the speed limit. It's funny because I heard in Netherlands, they like if you cross it for 3 kilometers, you get a ticket, you're fucked. And here it's like, yeah, you know, if I cross
5%, I
a
think.
little bit, it's gonna be okay, and la la la. And so basically, what this is just my opinion. There are more tickets in Slovenia because we are like, you know, trying to, is it okay? Am I gonna get a fine or not? Like tiptoeing over the, I know, speed limit. And there is just, you just know it. It's like, if you're gonna cross 100, you get a ticket. So it's actually a great idea how to get more fines, more money from the fines, right?
Never looked at it that way, but it might be, yeah. That tolerance, right? Couple percent of tolerance.
Yeah, if you would know that wherever you're driving, they can measure you, you would, I mean, I would drive, just put it on tempomat and that's it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I don't know where it's gonna happen, and it just might happen, but there's a little percentage, not today, my friend.
Yeah, right. You will push it, right? All right, Mr. JPS, can you imagine a world without the rules? I find it funny because usually we're so critical, but the rules are there because of the way human race currently is as it is. And that is another thing, right? And a lot of us are complaining or complained about rules, but then it's like we want to push it to have no rules. But if we wouldn't have rules, you know, I could come to your house, Ula, and I would just live in it, and you can't do anything about it. If I'm stronger, I'll beat the shit out of you, put you in a refrigerator, and I will live in it, and nobody will ever find. You know what I mean? It's like human
Well,
mind.
you still can do it, right?
Yeah, right. I still can do it, but I will get fined. You know, they will probably find me, put me in jail.
They
you
don't
know,
catch you.
yeah.
Yeah, everything's
but I
fine.
can do it if they right. So yeah, look, I think with the rules is like that, right? They are necessary because the way we are brought up in the world and raised.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because of the ego.
That's what I think. That's what I just newly like. Like they are necessary because we're as a human race. Every generation is raised like we just discovered before. It's okay to cheat as long as you don't get caught. So that's why we need rules. And there is a saying, the more laws the country has, the more corrupted it is, right? But it doesn't mean corrupted only in the politician way or the big economist way, you know. But it's just like corrupted as citizens of that country.
And there's another interesting thing. When I was studying sociology, here in Slovenia, we were always like under, I don't know, some king or some monarchy or something, right?
Ruler, yeah.
So we were mostly farmers, and for us, they were the ones putting the rules, right? For us, and they were bad, and the rules were bad, obviously, and we were always trying to break the rules or avoid the rules somehow. So it's kind of in our culture. So it's very interesting when you look at our society, how we act. We are always trying to not paying some taxes, maybe just €5, but hey, I did it, I didn't pay those €5.
Tax evasion, national sport.
It's a national sport here, yeah. But it actually comes from there.
Yeah, I would say it's a cultural thing. Every country has different one, but for Slovenia, because of what you just said, it is strong. Don't tell me what to do. So every rule for us is like, don't tell me what to do. So sooner or later we are going to break it.
Yeah.
Right? Because don't tell me what to do, we'll break it somehow. And I think that is for a lot of people out there exists, like, don't tell me what to do. And that is why, as a society, working on mindset, it's so hard. Right? Don't tell me what to do, I'll figure it on my own. No, you won't, because in your box you will only see what's in your box, so you cannot go look outside of the box if you think your box is the everything that there exists, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we need to stand for each other. But yeah, what do you think would be necessary that we could live in the world without the rules?
Hard reset.
Nah.
Like, I mean, the problem is, like,
I mean,
for the last couple of thousand years, there are rules. Like, as soon as the evolution started and we went from cavemen, basically, as soon as the first big nation started, like ancient Egypt and all that, the rules became when the difference in the society started. So you had the upper class, middle class, low class, slavery, and all that. And at that time, the rules started. So because the upper class wanted to stay on top. And when that mentality came into it, I think that was like the start of all these rules that we are having now.
Yeah, but the question is, what would be necessary that we could live in the world without rules?
For me, how I see that is, it's kind of impossible, because every time ego kicks in, we are not acting from our pure soul, if you want to call it like that. We are acting because we want something, right? We're gonna take it, and if I want something that is yours, I'm gonna take it from you. So you're gonna, it's plus and minus. So I mean, as you said before, if you're stronger, you're gonna take everything from me, and then I'm right. Just
yeah, but that is kind of also why we have rules, right? So I cannot take everything for you if I'm stronger, because if you just look how the politics works or everything like that, it doesn't work for every citizen, right? And if the strongest citizens would take over, right? I mean, we know most of politicians, they're not in shape. They're not the strongest one in the countries by mental or physical state. We know that. Like, it's obvious. It's not like I'm disrespecting anybody here, right? It's just like saying handicapped people are handicapped. They're not like, or fat people are fat. It's just how it is what it is. And I think that's why the rules are there, like also JP said. But what would be necessary that we could live in the world without rules? It's pretty much impossible to live without rules, because nature itself, universum itself, is developing by certain physicalities. We can call it rules of physics. So the ecosystem is working on a base of principles or rules or however you want to call it. It's just out there, right? And I think what would be need to put thought in would be like, what can we do, to stop teaching younger generations is okay to cheat, is okay to that would like lower the amount of rules or the laws we need in the society, right? Because some rules make sense, right? If you come into a gym and if one guy is on a one, I don't know what it's called,
bench or
I mean, yeah, okay,
station.
yeah, one station, right? I mean, it's not an official rule, right? But it's kind of an agreement, like you don't go in and push that guy away and take it over, right? Even though some people are doing that, but let's say most of them don't, right? So that's like makes sense, right? So you cannot live without rules because it would be like, or without agreements or something. So it's just like some are making sense and the other ones needs to be retaught and put thought into it, how not to teach people. If you would not teach, because little kid is not born into the, I mean, Ty, our son, is not he is not born with breaking rules, he's discovering. So I might have a rule in my head, you do not touch that, but he doesn't have language yet, he doesn't understand it, right? So he will discover it. I can take him away, I can be mean at him, angry at him. He might start being afraid of me. So he'll be like, oh, daddy, can I do it? Can I not do it? Do I want to raise that kind of a kid who will be like, daddy, can I do it? Can I not do it? So I think it's more like that would lower the amount of rules if we would think about what we are teaching, what are the consequences of our actions and words that we are using.
Yeah, but before we teach them, we have to teach ourselves. Like,
yeah,
it's just a copy paste. When I see a kid that is fat, I know what I'm gonna see in 98% in his parents. Like it's a copy paste. That's just the way you act, the way you talk, the way you live your lifestyle. You put it on your kids. So we have to start with ourselves. No matter how old we are, we have to start with ourselves.
That JP wrote, I believe we should also teach young generations about integrity, respect of each other, acceptance, etc. Yeah, and like Kula said, we can add on that it starts with ourselves. Look, these generations that are after us, or we are mirror of our older generations, right? And now we're in we can say, we can go in that debate in some other podcasts as well. It's called responsibility. It's basically, that's all there is, right? If the older generation took responsibilities, we're like, all right, we are too old to run this shit now because the technology and everything is so much advanced. Let's step aside, enjoy it, whatever we have, and let the younger generations come in, right? So yeah, but it goes like, if we put in integrity, respect of each other, acceptance with us, we will teach that younger generations, and then less and less rules will be needed, because it's kind of an obvious thing. It would be just evolution, nothing else. So they would be like coming up and they'll say, why would we have this rule? Like nobody is breaking it. Like every human being is obeying it. I mean, not obeying it, but is living by it. It's like natural thing. All right, let's teach that rule. But at the moment, that what's happening is like how to add on rules, like which rule we need to add on more to oppress in a way, right? To so they won't break this and that and that and yeah. So that is like that is it for everybody listening, for everybody watching. That is it. It starts with you, and then it will spread around. So you can blame the others, put responsibility on others, or you can be the one. However, it's your choice. All right. Anything you want to add for the end?
I think that was very well said. So
I agree.
All right, cool. The Night Ignition podcast on topic rules over.